Hi, this is Dr. Marty Klein. I call this quickie, Has your partner had an affair? Speak cautiously. As both a sex therapist and marriage counselor, I've been talking to individuals and couples about infidelity for over 30 years. These conversations involve recurring themes: sexual boredom, fear of intimacy, chronic conflict, power struggles, feeling trapped, workaholism, child rearing disagreements. And in every infidelity case, each party has to decide who gets told about it. The betrayer typically wants to keep things just between the two people involved, but when the betrayed discovers the betrayal, their anger or grief may drive them to tell one or more people about it. Before you know it, everyone except Dr. Fauci has heard about the affair. These people, including parents, mutual friends, employers, children, then start treating both the betrayed and the betrayer differently, often causing more marital strife. The entry of bystanders into the unstable relationship mess can make reconciliation or even a productive conversation almost impossible. Whoever invited these people in, usually the betrayed, often takes no responsibility for these consequences. It's easy to imagine the loneliness and the isolation, the humiliation and the rage of someone who's been betrayed. Yet, none of these feelings is a good reason to tell other people the ugly story. I've heard just about every bad reason that betrayeds tell others about the pain of betrayal. Here are a few. I have a right to tell everybody. After all, she behaved really badly. I couldn't live without revenge, and telling his boss was a good start. I needed someone to talk to, and my sister is really my only friend. I didn't want to feel alone, so I told the first person who asked me how my day was going. I could never hide anything from my family. My best friend would be angry if I hid this from her. I figured that telling everybody what a slut she is would prevent her from doing it again. I read online that telling others is a form of empowerment. Or how about this? Our kids deserve to know what kind of a person their mother is. I understand these feelings. I really do. I never tell patients not to feel this way. I just encourage betrayeds to think about how they want to deal with these feelings. Telling one or more people is only one way, and it may turn out to be the most complicated and most damaging. Yeah, I encourage the betrayed to think clearly, to exercise self-discipline, and to decide wisely, rather than just respond to their feelings as understandable as they are. And then I get asked, but that isn't fair. First, I'm treated like crap, and then I have to act smart and mature. That's not fair. To which I reply, yeah, memo to adults, life is not fair. When I tell the betrayed that I'm sympathetic, I also say that managing betrayal requires self-discipline, which usually surprises them. There's the question of protecting the children, if there are any. Now, not only do they not have a right to know how much their mom has hurt their dad, they have a right to not know, to not be dragged into the marital politics of their parents. Kids will inevitably feel pressured to take sides, which benefits no one. They may feel guilty for not being able to protect one parent from the other, and they can't possibly understand the unique marital situation in which the infidelity occurred. As the old Spanish proverb goes, no one knows what's in the soup except the two cooks who stir the pot. There's also the question of protecting the marriage's future, which is initially unknown. No matter how angry or hurt a betrayed is, they can't really predict whether they will stay or go, or when they'll decide whether to stay or go. Over and over, I've heard, I always said, one betrayal and he's out, followed weeks or months later by an attempt to reconcile. I've learned that almost no one can predict how they will respond to betrayal. Other things I ask people to consider before discussing infidelity with others are, do you really think you can control where information goes once you share it? What if this disclosure ruins your spouse's job on which the kids and maybe even you depend? What if you want to reconcile after trashing the guy? What will people think of you? What will people think of him? How will they relate to you? How will they relate to him? Some cultures have norms requiring adult children to reveal all important life events, such as infidelity, to their parents, who then dutifully tell the in laws, siblings, and extended family. I've seen this repeatedly, and in Silicon Valley, I've seen this a lot with families from India and China, although from other places as well. I have never, ever seen this end well. It mobilizes dozens and dozens of people, often on several different continents, to form opinions, give advice, and demand further detail. As often happens in large multi-generational families, the individual couple quickly gets lost in the smoke of group norms, family tradition, gender assumptions, and the management of shame. So when I start working with an individual couple around infidelity, I always ask who else knows, who told them, when, and why. If no one knows yet, I urge people to continue this wise policy for the moment. I also say the couple, whether the couple is in front of me or I'm only seeing one of the two people, they need to agree on who's going to be told, if anyone will, and what they'll be told. Of course, cooperative decision making is difficult when the betrayal is fresh, but it's as important then as at any other time. Sooner or later, the betrayed, and often the betrayer, wants to talk. If I counsel people to be close-lipped with family and others, well, on whom can people depend on to speak safely? Well, there's a therapist, a clergy member, a physician, an attorney. Notice that all these people, they're required professionally to keep secrets, right? There's also the possibility of talking to one close friend, preferably a close friend who lives way out of town and doesn't even know your spouse, and to whom you can say with a very serious tone, if you tell anybody about this, including your mate or my mom, our friendship will be permanently damaged. The goal of such talking should not be advice, which isn't what most people want or need. The goal should be feeling witnessed, feeling sane, feeling cared about. Hopefully, a betrayed can find someone to do that who doesn't also insert their own emotional needs into the conversation, like, well, all men are dogs, or, I never trusted your wife. Other options for self-expression during the anguish of revealed infidelity include writing in or dictating to a journal, and centering activities such as yoga or meditation. Some people find walking in nature tremendously valuable. Sometimes a betrayed is confronted by relatives or friends to whom it's clear that there's something wrong. If your kids or parents see you moping or crying or not talking to your unfaithful mate for days, they may demand an explanation and refuse to be put off. In that case, you can reference marital problems rather than infidelity. What kind? I'd rather not talk about the details. And if the other person pushes back, I'd rather not talk about the details. And if they keep pushing, even claiming that they have a right to know, you have to make a quick choice. No one has the right to know what's bothering you if it isn't about them. If necessary, just say you're too upset to talk and quietly withdraw. Because protecting yourself, and for the moment at least, the wounded marriage, is more important than gratifying even well-meaning people who express their caring by making demands and feeling wounded if you don't meet their demands. Marriage, is complicated enough. I'm Dr. Marty Klein. Thanks for joining me.